Moving on to now making naan, which is a North Indian flatbread. Instead of using whole wheat flour, now we will be using all-purpose flour, maida. Let's begin the process. First, we will take approximately 1.5 bowl of all-purpose flour. This is basically refined wheat flour. And we shall be making 2 naans from this. Naans are comparatively thicker to that of chapati and are bigger in size as well. They are usually made in tandoors, in restaurants, but we shall be making them on tawa, and I'll show you how. After we've taken the all-purpose flour, we'll add curd to it. Curd brings softness and a little tartness to your breads. I've added 2 spoons of curd to this. I'm going to add salt to taste, which is approximately half a spoon. Now I'm going to add baking soda and baking powder. We add these to make sure that our breads are fluffy. You can even use yeast if you want to, but this is the easier form of making breads. I'm adding 1/4 spoon of baking soda and half a spoon of baking powder. Usually the acid present in the curd reacts with your baking soda and baking powder and helps to raise your bread. I'm going to add 1 spoon of oil and now water. Add half a spoon of sugar to this. The sugar doesn't add sweetness, but it kind of balances all the flavors present in your naan dough. Mix everything together. Add water stepwise. Always make sure that you never add too much water at one go, because then you will have to then keep adding flour to make sure that your dough comes to a certain kind of a consistency. Once your ingredients have come together, you can start binding your dough with your hands. I'm binding the dough with my hands now. Always remember, any dough that you bind should sit at least for 15-20 minutes for the gluten to come together. Otherwise, whenever you will try to roll them, the edges will not come out smooth. And any bread which has baking soda or baking powder needs a little time to work. If you have curd from the previous day, the tartness of that curd would work wonders with your baking soda or baking powder. If you can see, our dough is coming together quite nicely. The dough ideally has to be springy, which you can see. This is the final step. Add a little oil on top and smooth out your dough. Our dough is nicely done. It has left all the sides. It's looking very, very good. Don't overwork the dough in the process when you bind it. We can maybe do a little bit more once we start rolling out our naan. If you can see, our naan dough has raised well. It's become nice and springy. We'll use a little oil to smoothen it out. I'm binding it a little to make sure that it's smooth and nice. You can see the texture. It's looking very nice. Our naan dough is ready. Let's make the dough balls. Naan dough balls are slightly bigger in size than a chapati because they are thicker. They're ready. Now we'll roll it. I'm putting our naan dough ball in a bowl of dry maida, all-purpose flour, the refined flour. Coat it thoroughly so that it's easier for you to roll it out. Always remember that naans are rolled oval. The shape is not necessary, but this is how we've seen it for so long. Let's roll them. And always remember, it's going to become a little stretchy as this dough has baking powder and baking soda. Sprinkle flour if you find it difficult to roll. We're going to roll it long. Whenever you're rolling any of your roti, naan, kulcha, paratha, make sure they are even, because you don't want them to be burnt from one side, thin or thick on the other side. It will leave your roti undercooked or overcooked. Our naan is almost ready. If you feel, you can stretch it from your hands as it will be required. We'll sprinkle a few black sesame seeds, a little bit of coriander before we'll roll it the last time. And let's give it one more roll so that everything sticks on it perfectly and doesn't get out when we are cooking it on the tawa. Our naan is ready to go on the griddle. I'm flipping the naan and applying water. We want this one side of the naan to stick to your tawa properly. We don't want it to come off. As we do not have tandoors at home, we are doing it on a tawa. This is an age-old trick which a lot of people use at home. Once you've applied enough amount of water, we'll put your naan on the tawa. We'll stick it nicely. Put it on the gas. We'll let the one side cook. Once you start seeing these bubbles, slightly bigger bubbles, we'll flip the naan. I'll show you how to cook the naan. Now I'm going to flip the tawa and make sure that the naan is cooked on this side as well. Do this on a high flame. Keep turning the naan. You have to make sure that it has brown bubbles on top. Now you know why we've put water, so that it doesn't fall off the tawa when we are doing this. Keep turning the naan. Wherever you see that it's not cooked, turn that side towards the flame. You can see your naan is cooked now. And look how gorgeous it looks. Let's get it off the tawa now. This is what your backside of the naan will look like. And let's apply ghee. Your restaurant style naan at home is ready. So did you see how easy it is to make restaurant style naan at home? Always make sure that you let the dough rest. Let the baking powder and the baking soda do its job. Never rush the dough. Also, or keep it in a vessel with a cloth on it or in a closed box to make sure that the dough doesn't dry out.